Okay, so picture this. Inside your head, right this second, there are two totally different superheroes fighting for control. One's impulsive, lightning fast. The other, a slow, calculating detective. We're going to unmask these two and figure out which one is really running your life.
All right, let's kick things off with a little brain teaser. Look at this. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 total. The bat costs exactly $1 more than the ball. So, how much does the ball cost? What's the first answer that popped into your head? Hold on to it. Don't overthink it. Or, maybe you should.
So, if you thought 10 cents, hey, don't worry, you are not alone. That's what most people say. It just feels right, doesn't it? It's simple, and it's also completely wrong. But that little mental hiccup, that's the perfect window into the two competing systems that are running the show inside your brain.
Exactly. And the best way to wrap our heads around this comes from some really groundbreaking work by psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. They basically said our minds are run by two main characters. Think of them as two superheroes, each with their own very different set of powers.
All right, so here's the big idea. Let's call them System 1 and System 2. System 1, that's the Flash, all about speed, super fast, automatic, intuitive, just running on pure gut feeling. And System 2, well, that's Batman. He's the total opposite. Slow, deliberate, analytical, the one who actually needs to stop and think. It takes real effort.
And let's be clear, System 1, our inner Flash, is the unsung hero of our day-to-day lives. I mean, he's the reason you can drive home on autopilot and not even remember the trip. He's how you can instantly tell if a friend is upset just by looking at them, or why you jump back from a car horn without a single conscious thought. He's making literally thousands of these split-second calls for you every single day, totally behind the scenes.
And this is where it gets really cool, because we actually know where this stuff happens in the brain. Neuroscientists have basically found the Flash's secret hideouts. So all those emotional rapid-fire reactions, that's the amygdala going off. It's like the brain's alarm system. And that effortless autopilot thinking, that's something called the default mode network. It's the command center that's just kind of humming along when the Flash is on cruise control.
But, okay, when things get complicated, you gotta call in a different kind of hero. And that's where System 2, your inner Batman, comes in. He's the master detective you bring in for the heavy lifting. We're talking calculating a 20% tip, trying to learn a new language, or figuring out your next move in a chess game. It's conscious, it's hard work, and honestly, he doesn't just show up for fun. You really have to send out the bat signal.
And Batman's power comes from a very specific place. His headquarters, his bat cave, if you will, is the prefrontal cortex. It's that highly evolved part of our brain right behind your forehead. Think of it as the brain's CEO office. This is what gives Batman the authority to put a hand on the Flash's shoulder and say, whoa, hold on a sec. I know that feels right, but let's actually think this through.
Okay, so the Flash is amazing. He's fast, he's efficient, but he has a major weakness. He's kind of gullible. He relies on these quick mental shortcuts, and because of that, there are some classic cognitive villains out there that are experts at exploiting these little glitches in our mental autopilot.
And the key thing here is that this isn't random. Like these pioneers we mentioned, Kahneman and Tversky, discovered, these mistakes aren't just one-off flukes. No. System 1 makes predictable, systematic errors over and over again. They gave these mental shortcuts a name, heuristics, and learning about them is basically like getting your hands on the villain's secret playbook.
So, villain number 1 is called the representativeness heuristic. In plain English, it's basically stereotyping. Your brain's Flash sees something, it immediately matches it to a simple mental picture it has stored away, and bam, jumps to a conclusion. So you see someone who's quiet and wears glasses, and your brain instantly shouts librarian before you even have a chance to think about the fact that there are way, way more salespeople in the world. The Flash just saw a pattern he recognized and ran with it, no questions asked.
All right, next up we've got the availability heuristic. This villain's whole trick is making you believe that if you can think of an example easily, it must happen all the time. This is why people are often more scared of a shark attack after watching Jaws, or more afraid of flying than driving. The reality is, driving is statistically way more dangerous. But plane crashes? They're dramatic, they're vivid, they stick in our memory thanks to movies and the news, so our brain overestimates the risk.
And our third villain for today is called anchoring. Oh, and marketers love this one. The very first piece of information you get, especially a number, powerfully anchors your thinking. You see a jacket with a price tag that says, originally $200, now on sale for $100. That $200 price is the anchor.
It makes $100 feel like an amazing deal, even if the jacket was never really worth more than $50 in the first place.
So if our speedy Flash is so easily tricked by these villains, what are we supposed to do? Well, the goal isn't to get rid of the Flash. I mean, we'd be lost without him. The real secret is to train Batman to know exactly when to step in. It's about turning them from rivals into the ultimate crime-fighting duo. It's about upgrading your brain's operating system.
Okay, let's circle back to that bat and ball problem from the beginning. The correct answer is 5 cents. Think about it. If the ball is 5 cents and the bat is $1 more, the bat costs $1.05. Add them together, you get $1.10. Your Flash screams 10 cents because it's easy. But Batman has to be the one to step in, do the slow, careful math, and say, nope, hold on, and override that gut instinct. That is the superhero team-up we're talking about.
So, how do you actually engage your inner Batman? Well, think of it as a simple 3-step bat signal. Step 1 is just to pause, especially when the stakes are high or you feel a really strong emotion. Just take a breath. Step 2, question. Actively challenge that first gut reaction. Ask yourself, okay, but what if my first instinct here is wrong? And then step 3 is to engage. That means deliberately doing the slow work. Look for more information. Consider other possibilities. Really force yourself to think it through.
Now, if you're looking for a way to give your inner Batman a serious training montage, like Rocky running up the steps, the research points to one surprisingly powerful tool, mindfulness. Seriously, think of it like taking your brain to the gym. It's a scientifically proven way to strengthen that reflective System 2 muscle and become less reactive.
And look, this isn't just some vague feel-good advice. The science here is absolutely solid. We have studies showing that mindfulness training directly improves how people score on tests just like that bat and ball problem. And it makes sense, right? It helps you control your attention and manage those emotional impulses from the Flash. But what's even crazier, brain scans show it's linked with a physically thicker prefrontal cortex. You are literally building a bigger, better headquarters for Batman.
Okay, so this has been a really fun tour of the superheroes and villains inside our heads. But what's the big takeaway here? I mean, why does any of this actually matter out there, in the real world? Well, as it turns out, it matters. A whole lot.
I mean, this idea is completely reshaping entire fields. Take behavioral economics. Governments and companies use what they call nudges to help us make better choices by appealing to our lazy System 1. Think about automatic enrollment in a 401k plan. They know we'll probably just stick with the default, so they make the default the smart choice. In education, teaching critical thinking is really just a fancy way of saying we're training students when to activate their inner Batman. And on a personal level, this affects everything from your finances to your health.
So when you boil it all down, the goal isn't to be the Flash all the time or to be Batman all the time. You need both of them. The real superpower, the thing that makes us truly smart, is knowing which hero the situation calls for, and when.
So we'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. Right now, in this very moment, as you're listening to this, which one is in charge? Is your fast, intuitive Flash just kind of soaking it all in? Or is your slow, deliberate Batman actually engaging with these ideas? The answer might tell you a lot, and knowing that, well, that's the first step to deciding who you want to be in charge.